The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. Regional Planning Commission meeting, April 28th, 2021.
Let me share with you the samples, the grand solution.
Hey, Buzz, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Walk
Really good.
quarter of a mile, you pay about $6 to go through this. You can see all the old British and French forts.
Done.
Yep.
Really?
Let's do it.
Okay. Call the meeting to order, special meeting for the Regional Planning Commission, and Brad, would you certainly do that?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We will open up with public comment, and will be for all matters, both on and off the agenda. It will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Commission reserves the right to reduce the time and limit the time allotted for public comment. Comments during the discussion, items may not be accepted from the general public. Commission may prohibit comment if the content of the comments are woefully disruptive, meanings that are slanderous, offensive, inflammatory, irrational, or amounting to personal attacks, interfering with the rights of other speakers. Persons are invited to submit comments in writing on the agenda items and attend, make comments on them at the commission meeting. And we open up for public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I attended the County Commission meeting today, April 28, 2021. 4 parcels were sold, and Chairman Howe stated that the city requirement for the installation of street lighting and a fire hydrant were not mandated according to the building inspector and the city engineer. There was nothing in writing presented at the meeting. I want to know who's responsible for street lighting and the installation of the fire hydrant for fire protection. NRS states the city cannot assist a private business, and I'm assuming the county is the same way. If one wants to go into business and enhance property, that's fine. But you don't put in the street lighting and you don't put in the fire hydrant. If I'm wrong, I need to be shown where that is allowed.
Where's that at, George?
Below the hospital, there's 4 parcels.
Okay.
16th Street
Park Avenue.
and Park, yeah, I couldn't think of it.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not seeing any movement on businesses recently opened that do not have ADA access and or provide for off-street parking. Your own building inspector continues to fail you. He's putting you in the light as the planning commission is selectively enforcing the law under color law. That needs to stop. You got rules and regulations, you got to enforce them, or get rid of them for everybody. Mr. Chairman, I'm not seeing anything in writing in regards to you folks taking a stand on that park at Love's. I told you about the tragedy that happened with one young lady. Recently we had another one. In this particular case, the person was assaulted, not killed. The other one's still missing since 2003. I want to know where you people stand. That's why we have a planning commission. If you don't want to make a stand, then there's no need for a planning commission. Mr. Chairman, I went to City Hall to get permits that would allow me to rent my RVs, would allow me to rent RVs or motorhomes on my property. I was denied. Look throughout this community. I've showed you pictures from one time to the next, and yet it continues. Mr. Carson started off with 1 RV, then 3. He put the Appasetchis, not he, but the city or government put the Appasetchis out of business. They closed the trailer park, ended up selling it. Yet Mr. Carson is full, and in this particular case, he's stacking 1 RV in front of the other in violation of fire code. Again, either we have rules and regulations or we don't. Discrimination needs to be stopped. Mr. Chairman, I brought before you in the past about numerous RVs setting up throughout the community. It continues. I can't rent my property, yet I was given a citation, 2 citations, $355. I'm not gonna stand for that. You people are responsible for taking care of this, and you're not doing it. That's right. You need to wind it up, Mr. Chairman. Also, you need to put in that sound system. You're in violation of the NRS. Open meeting law states.
Okay, any other public comment? We'll move on to the item for this meeting. Item A, approval of a parcel map to subdivide the parcel. Applicant is JCR Development LLC. Subject property is 1/4 section north, 1/2 section 14, township 16 north, range 63 east. General location of the property is the Park Addition, Park Avenue, and Avenue M, east of 17th Street, East Ely, Nevada, APN 002-271-12.
Good evening, thanks for the special meeting. I assume everybody's looked at it. There were some questions that we were trying to circumvent the subdivision law. But in this case, the deed restrictions that were put on these lots, or these potential lots right now, already went further than all the subdivision requirements. So we can accomplish it by just doing some subsequent parceling here. It's they're gonna have curb gutter sidewalk, street lights, sewer, all their plans. So as we felt, we didn't need to go through the subdivision process, and then we got the city attorney to agree to going through the parcel map process.
Okay, so Buzzer, do you have all those lots? I know the last paperwork we saw, there was.
Right, so the last time through, we adjusted these 2 in lots. Right. This time, we were creating 1 lot, and then a large lot to divide into 4, a large lot to divide into 4, and then a lot to divide into 2, because I can only do 4 lots per parcel map.
And what's the lot sizes on these?
They're all gonna be,
They're all different, right?
yeah, they're all kind of a little different, depends on the.
But they all meet minimum requirements.
Yeah, minimum is, I believe, 5,000.
Yeah.
These are 72 to 81, or right around there.
Buzz, could you turn that around, please?
Sure.
And where's the general location of those, please?
17th Street Park and M Street.
Okay, you mentioned lighting,
Lighting,
fire hydrant?
fire hydrants, all from, the fire hydrants, that would have been a code from when we're installing the new water line. You can only go 500 feet on a new install without having a hydrant.
Thank you.
So full installation of hydrants, sidewalks.
Correct.
Gutters, everything.
There's also, the improvement plans are available if anybody would like to see those as well. They're not part of that application.
So, I guess, my guess is in, I don't know, a year or 6 months, we're gonna request for subdividing of those other 2 lots inside of them?
Yeah, essentially we're just creating 1 building lot with this parcel and then 3 remainder pieces that will divide down further.
Okay, and that's how we're bypassing the subdivision law.
Right, so yeah, it goes into subsequent parceling, which is legal,
Okay.
but
I mean, it seems a little, yeah, but
It-
I
the subdivision process is a pretty strenuous process to really get through it for 11 lots. It's not a good cost-effective way. This is a way more cost-effective way. All the improvements will still be in place. Like I said, those were deed restrictions. We're going this route, you could probably circumvent the subdivision and all those improvements, but the improvements were already imposed on the lots before they were sold.
So has there been any discussion, because is it White Pine County that owns still the property right east of this?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, and so has there been any discussion as far as looking at a concept for this, as far as?
The master plan for the remainder?
Yeah.
The problem with this lot, with the remainder lot, it'd be really tough to access the sewer that's existing. So really, any further development on the large piece of property is gonna need a pump station, to pump the sewer back up to that gravity main.
So the sewer comes up right in that.
Yeah, run through it along 17th Street.
Yeah, I think that's the lowest it can go, correct, without a pump station through.
Right, the
that
sewer's
street.
very shallow on
Yeah.
the north end of this, it's actually exposed,
Yeah,
so we're,
So essentially, a master plan is pretty much null and void at this point, based off of that.
well, you can still do a master plan with, planning, this is where we would propose the pump station in the best location. But if further development without a pump station would be really tough, unless you wanna bring a lot of fill in.
let me ask you a question, Buzz. So that's the last line that would head out towards the sewage treatment plant, correct? And so I'm just thinking further on, if they put in a pump station and further development to the east, I guess southeast of that area goes on with a pump station, is the line that's in that street right now, that proposed street, big enough to handle not only everything on that street, but all of the stuff that may be to the east of that, if they go that route?
Yeah, that'd be, we had to do a little study on that really to see what influence that line has currently, and then what we'd be proposing to add to it. I believe it's an 8-inch sewer, so it's not excessively big.
Okay, yeah, because that'd be my biggest question is that, you know, the land that's to the east of that is, there's quite a bit there
Right.
that the county owns, so, I'm just wondering if that line's gonna handle that, if that pump station's put in. But anyway, it's just something for food for
Right,
thought.
and that was just kind of the initial look at it. It doesn't mean that, without doing different improvements, you can do another gravity system out of there from the low end of that and get that to the treatment plant.
Okay,
And once you start looking at the overall topography, if you can make it there or not.
So you're building it on so that you can potentially add on other situations as needed.
The pump station's a pretty large expense, so they would wanna, if the developer bought it, or if the county wanted to do their own development, they would really wanna look at the full build out and have that pump station be able to handle all the lots, or potentially could be there. You could do another 150 lots, there's a lot of property there, which the Zealy, 150 lots, I don't know, that's not what I do.
okay.
So those will all tie all those properties, sewers, water, everything would tie directly into the water line that's in the street now, in 17th Street, is that right?
Yeah, currently, there's only sewer along 17th.
Okay.
JCR is installing the water line.
Okay, where's that coming from?
It's stubbed at the ends of both of,
Avenue M, isn't it?
M and Park.
Yeah.
So the improvement there, all we're doing is connecting that system across for a loop system.
So it'll loop, okay,
So there's actually some benefit to a loop
Yeah.
system there, 7 dead ends.
great, okay.
So you're tapped into that, so
Excuse me?
you're tapped into that.
Yeah, we'd be looping back around.
And the power is all underground?
The power is underground currently. I don't know 100% about AT&T. That really wasn't discovered during what we were working on.
Okay, because you're gonna be installing high-speed internet also.
Yeah, that I'm not 100% sure on what their plans are there. If there is high-speed internet anyway, or wireless. We use wireless in our office, so that's about as good as you can do around here, I think.
All right, well, thank you for explaining that,
Yeah.
we had lots of questions
No,
last time,
that's fine.
so.
No, I really appreciate that.
I have no additional questions, I
Either.
move to,
So really what it essentially does with this, with recording this map, JCR has this lot, this lot, this lot to build houses on, and that satisfies their first year requirement with the county. They have to,
What's the first,
they have their two corner lots,
oh,
and then this lot we're creating, and then some remainder parcels to further subdivide. So that gets them to a point where they can do their 3 houses for the first year.
Okay.
Buzz, if you would, I'd like to see that, please.
I move to.
Where are you gonna build?
Here.
Very good, thank you.
Right, second it.
Motion and second.
Jason, second.
Motion, second.
Okay,
All right.
all right, we've got a
Can't see
motion from Andy, and a second from Jason. All those in favor of approving this, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Now we move on to, again, public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I reported numerous times that the new marijuana dispensary is not compliant with ADA. It's been several months, you need to address that. Mr. Chairman, curb and gutter requirements are not being enforced by the building inspector. Again, he's selectively enforcing the law. I'm not talking about me at this time, but we're gonna see what catch-up is being done after the old inspector took off, or should take off, I should say. Mr. Chairman, I brought numerous discrepancies before you in the past, and I've not seen any action. In particular, RVs parked at the Old Catholic Church across from City Hall, that they're not permitted. How can you miss something like that? If you come all the way to Central Italy and find old George and give him two $355 citations, that's discrimination. Whether it's me or anybody else, you need to stop that. There was also an RV at Hunter's on Alton Street. How can you not see that? My Wheeler had an RV for a month or so in their pole yard. Did you collect any fees on that? Landfill, were they hooked up? Did I tell you I got 2 citations? 3 RVs on Altman. Did they pay any fees? Silver State Motel continues to have vehicles stopped there. Do they have a license? Are they collecting? Mr. Chairman, I've asked about several times now how many discrepancies I've got to bring before you. Here's another one. Animals within the city limits. Who got cited? Old George, August 16th, 2006. Mr. Allworth, the clerk at that time, manager, now city councilman, knew about Chapter 3 Animal Control Article A, Livestock and Fowl, Section 5-3A-1A, keeping of regulated animals. Again, selective enforcement. We either have rules and regulations or we don't. It's all a matter of items being on file. That's what you guys are here for, but I'm not seeing any action. Here's an old derelict boat next to a playground down by the railroad. Not fenced off. If it had been fenced off, fine. Nothing has happened yet. That's been several years. Debris by the charter school. Kids ride their RVs, their motorcycles in that area. You need to address that. The kid gets hurt, you're responsible.
Okay.
I need some
Thank
answers,
you.
Mr. Chairman. I'm not getting any.
Okay, any other public comments? Okay, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Second. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.
Well, unlimited vacation.
Yeah, the last place we were at, they did, and it was just 2. That's modern for us, I don't know.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chatchis reporting.